The megastars, the millionaires, the masterminds. Seriously wealthy, glamorous and influential. They are the rich and famous. They are seen around the world for their talent and achievements. These award winners have the world at their fingertips. Bruce Springsteen, the boss, American rock legend.
I got down in the valley where Mister when you're young.
He has been inspired by music since the age of 7, ever since he watched Elvis Presley on The Ed Sullivan Show. Bruce has been creating music ever since and bought his first guitar at age 13 for $18. By 16, his mother took out a loan for a whopping $60 to purchase Bruce a Kent guitar. Later on, he spoke of that guitar in his song The Wish. With hit singles such as Dancing in the Dark, Born in the USA and Streets of Philadelphia, Bruce has had an amazing amount of success. Just in the US alone, Bruce has sold over 65 million albums, and his concerts bring in staggering amounts of money. One of his tours grossed over $26 million. This success has earned him approximately $55 million and a truckload of awards. Some of these awards include winning 15 Grammy Awards for Best Rock Albums, Song of the Year, Best Rock Song, Best Male Vocals, and the list goes on.
Who dies from too much whiskey and leaves me these three faces.
But he had major success in the early 90s when he recorded the single Streets of Philadelphia, which then appeared in the soundtrack for the movie Philadelphia. The song, along with the film, was applauded by many for its sympathetic portrayal of a gay man dying of AIDS. Bruce accepted the Academy Award for Best Song for Streets of Philadelphia, and it is now ranked on the American Film Institute's list of 100 years of the greatest songs. Bruce has now made lifelong friends with the star of the movie and fellow Oscar winner Tom Hanks. Being known to work a lot with the E Street Band, Bruce was able to also take home an Emmy for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band live in New York City HBO special. There's not much more left for Bruce to win. Bruce, with his raw workman style look when on stage, says I have a very fundamental setup on the guitar. There's a loud button, and a louder one, and a louder one than that. And that's it. To show his love of guitars, Bruce once hunted around in search for a guitar that was used for a prop in a photo shoot. It was a 63 Telecaster with a decal of a naked Oriental woman on the back. After the shoot, he couldn't get the guitar out of his head. I don't know what it sounds like, but it felt great, he said. It was eventually tracked down to the shop it was rented from, but unfortunately was already sold. That didn't matter though. He is Bruce Springsteen. He managed to buy it back from the man who bought it. Bruce has pretty much received all the honours that one could receive. He has been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and was ranked on the Rolling Stones magazine's list of the 100 greatest artists of all time. In 1999, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where Bono, lead singer of U2, gave the speech. Bruce returned the favour later on, when U2 received the award. Bruce Springsteen, the boss, an American legend. A really rich one. When asked to take off his sunglasses, he replied, "You're new here, aren't you?" Anyone should know not to ask that when the man, Mr. Jack Nicholson, is around. That grin and evil-looking smile has made Jack Nicholson one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood. Now, in his 70s, this award-winning actor can demand around $16 million per film. His most successful to date would be his performance of the Joker in the dark film Batman. Not taking just a leap sum payout for the role, instead, this filthy rich actor asked for a cut of the gross profit and a percentage of the merchandising. He received $60 million, $50 million more than he most likely would have received. Doing this, he became one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Even though he only had a supporting role in the film, Jack helped them to bring in an estimated $750 million in merchandising alone, with the film making another $413 million.
When I was asked through Martin's very fine assistant, Emma, and my very fine assistant, Chris, to do this, I was told I would just be accepting a check, something that I'm very comfortable doing, of course, but not making a speech, something which I'm not.
Jack, it reminds me, here's the check.
Okay. To the Film Foundation, God love them.
His movies have reportedly taken in over $1.25 billion at the box office. With fame brings power. Being an avid Los Angeles Lakers fan, Jack never misses a home game. Because of this, it is said the producers on his film must work the shooting schedule around the Lakers' schedule. Being known as one of the bad boys of Hollywood, Jack resides on the renowned Bad Boy Drive, more famously known as Mulholland Drive in Beverly Hills. It was appropriately nicknamed Bad Boy Drive for housing other well-known bad boys Warren Beatty and the late Marlon Brando. After Brando's death, Jack purchased his friend's house for a small fortune of $5 million, only to then demolish it. Jack can smooth talk his way into anything, including the lives of some well-known female celebrities. He has been known for dating women quite a few years younger than him, such as Lara Flynn Boyle, and had a 17-year relationship with Addams Family star Angelica Houston. His smooth talking, along with powerful dramatic acting and his dark-themed portrayals of neurotic characters, has led him to winning 3 Oscars and 7 Golden Globes. He won Best Actor at both the Oscars and Golden Globes for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, then achieved the same result a few years later, winning both awards for Best Supporting Actor in Terms of Endearment. He has also proved his comedic capability, winning the Best Actor Oscar for As Good As It Gets, opposite Helen Hunt, who then received the Best Actress Oscar. Jack is one of only 3 actors that can say they have been nominated for an Academy Award in 5 different decades: the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s and 2000s. Jack is the most nominated male actor in history. He has presented the Best Picture Oscar 7 times, more than any other actor or actress. It seems like Jack, whether presenting or accepting, is the star of the award shows. In fact, he's just a star. He may look like a Dungeons and Dragons geek or a comic book nerd, but Peter Jackson is one of the most powerful and profitable movie directors of our time. So far, his worth is estimated at $39 million and continues to rise. He saw huge box office returns with Lord of the Rings and the remake of the classic King Kong. The New Zealand filmmaker is going from strength to strength. The Academy Award-winning director turned J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings into a trilogy of epic proportion. Jackson secured the book rights in the mid to late 90s. The films have ranked in over $2.9 billion worldwide at the box office and earned a total of 17 Oscars. The trilogy has sold more than 100 million copies and has been translated into 25 different languages. The film franchise has generated $4 billion in ticket sales, DVDs and merchandise. Jackson, the smart fella that he is, also gets a 7.5% cut of the gross profits from the DVD sales of the second Lord of the Rings film and a cut from theatre sales for the third film. Jackson received a mammoth upfront fee of $20 million for his remake of King Kong and also received 20% of the gross profits. King Kong cost 20 times more than the original to make, $207 million to be exact, making it the sixth most expensive film ever made by Hollywood. He doesn't do things by halves though, and it pays off. King Kong grossed $550 million worldwide. With all this cash floating around, Jackson has given some of it back, donating $500,000 to stem cell research and purchased a church in Wellington for approximately $10 million to save it from demolition. Like everyone, he likes to spend money on himself as well. He allegedly offered $150,000 for an original King Kong poster. Now that's a die-hard fan. He owns 2 houses in his homeland, New Zealand, and has transformed his Wairarapa property into a $4.5 million fantasy wonderland. Originally costing the director $1 million, he has managed to get his hands on some of the sets from his films, including Frodo's home bag end from Lord of the Rings, which is to be used as a guest house. It sounds to me like the costs have gone well over the $4.5 million, with the construction of a 20-metre indoor pool and a 100-seat theatre in the basement. Other plans include a mini railway system, a private pub and a 22 million litre lake to go along with the 3-storey fairy tale mansion. Jackson is also part owner of a digital effects company, Weta Limited, as well as a props design firm, Weta Workshop. Both had a lot of involvement in the making of The Lord of the Rings. Jackson has been nominated for an outstanding amount of awards, including Best Director for Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and won the Best Director Oscar for Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. I wonder if his Oscar is named My Precious. Nelson Mandela. He is one of the most influential people of our time. He has achieved so much. In over 4 decades, he has received over 100 awards, most notably the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. The former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, was the first to be elected in fully representative democratic elections. Before he became president, he was an anti-apartheid activist, fighting his way against racism. He was arrested and spent 27 years in jail on convictions for crimes that included sabotage committed while he led the struggle against racism. Having all that spare time in his cell, he was able to receive a Bachelor of Law from the University of London External Program. Nelson Mandela was stated as saying, "During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to the struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." He became a symbol of freedom and equality. Nelson Mandela was released in February 1990. It was broadcast all over the world. His main focus was to bring peace to the black majority and give them the right to vote in both national and local elections. After his release, he returned to the leadership of the African National Congress and led the party to the country's first multiracial elections. His leadership and relationship with President F.W.D. Klerk were recognised, and he, along with Klerk, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. He became the country's first black president in 1994 at the ripe old age of 77. Nelson Mandela has been the focus of many novels and films. Long Walk to Freedom is Mandela's autobiography, which he secretly worked on while in prison. Sidney Poitier portrayed Mandela in Mandela and de Klerk. Goodbye Bafana, which focuses on Mandela's life, was premiered at the Berlin Film Festival. You know you must be important when you can get Oprah Winfrey's attention. A few years ago, she announced she was going to build schools for South African girls because it is a country of new beginnings, and for her love of Nelson Mandela and all that he means to this country and to the world. Once retiring, one of Mandela's main commitments has been to help the fight against AIDS. He had already started a fundraising campaign, the 46664 AIDS, named after his prison number.
46664 was my prison number for over 18 years. I was imprisoned on Robben Island, known as just a number. Millions of people today infected with AIDS are just that, a number. They too are serving a prison sentence for life.
And don't we all wish we could get a 6-metre statue built after us? Mandela had one erected in Sandton Square, renamed Nelson Mandela Square in Johannesburg to honour the South African leader. One of the great moral and political leaders of our time, Nelson Mandela epitomises a moral integrity that shines far beyond his native homeland. Are you ever going to play a pretty girl? This is one of the most irritating questions Hilary Swank has ever been asked. If you ask me, the $3 million plus actress and 2 times Academy Award winner is just fine with her choice of roles. Beginning her career at a young age, this buff beauty of the silver screen has always chosen roles that involve her changing her appearance. Whether that is adding on a few pounds to bulk up or cutting off her hair to portray a transgender male, she will give anything a go. Her roles are often very physical, as we saw in her first major flick, The Next Karate Kid. Luckily for her though, she had several years of training before deciding acting was to be her career of choice. She competed in the Junior Olympics and Washington State Championships in swimming and was ranked 5th in the state for all-round gymnastics. Her Her breakout role in The Next Karate Kid opened up doors for Hilary that many of us would never have dreamed of. Ever since then, she has been in high demand and has worked non-stop. The first of her 2 Oscars was awarded when she cut off her long locks and lived as a boy for a month to prepare for the role of Tina Brandon in Boys Don't Cry. She earned $75 per day for her work on the film and totaled $3,000 all up. Not the kind of paycheck you think an actress in such high demand would get. Apparently, her earnings were too low to even qualify for health insurance. But her success in Clint Eastwood's $1 Million Baby, the story of a young woman's quest to be a professional boxer, turned that around, awarding her with Oscar #2 for Best Performance by an actress in a leading role.
I'm just trying to be in the moment and enjoy it and appreciate it. I think I'm just more appreciative this time around, because after Boys Don't Cry, I thought there was going to be this plethora of opportunities, and I realized that the really good roles are just so few and far between. So I'm just now really appreciative.
She had to endure intensive physical training for the role and eat 210 grams of protein a day, which consisted of drinking egg whites, protein shakes, and flax oil. "My job was to do my best to look like a boxer," she said. Her rippling muscles and masculine features showed that. $1 Million Baby was a triumph, bringing in $220 million at the box office. Hilary was now the 3rd youngest actress to win 2 Best Actress Academy Awards. Hilary, together with actor husband Chad Lowe, purchased a $4 million 4-story brownstone home in New York. Unfortunately, they are no longer together. Seems like that money could have been better spent now, doesn't it? Maybe she could have spent some of it on her adrenaline junkie hobbies, skydiving, river rafting, and skiing. With the grueling training she goes through for her films, she needs something to help her supplement her diet. That's when Hilary, the vegetarian, calls on friend and nutritionalist Dr. Oz Garcia. To keep herself feeling and looking great, Hilary pays between $6,000 to $12,000 a year for the doc's help. Maybe just eating red meat would suffice. In early 2006, Hilary signed a 3-year contract to be a spokesperson for the women's fragrance company Guerlain. The contract is said to be worth around $4 million a year. See, she can be feminine after all, depending on the price.